ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the next tier list. This is going to be a Zoomafia community tier list. You guys in the chat are going to help me kind of decide where people are going to go on this list. I'm going to give my opinions. I'm going to look at your opinions in the chat. I'm going to hit the polls in the chat. And then we'll see where we put everybody. So we're going to start with all the way at the bottom with the first player. And the first player on the list is Cammy as a #1 spot. Now, listen, guys, personally, if you want my honest opinion on Cammy, I feel like he's been super underwhelming compared to what we know Cammy as. I think Cammy is a lot better than what he has shown recently. And I think he's going to have to go at the bottom of my list right now, man. I'm not sure where. I'm thinking either C or D. And I think very highly of Cammy. Again, this is just very, this is off like how the year has been going. By no means, if we're putting somebody at the bottom of a list, do I think they're bad players. I just think based on how things have been going, I think C or D is the perfect spot to put them. Let's go to the poll and let's see what some of you guys think in the chat. And let's see what you guys decide. So Cammy going up in a poll. Right now we have 50% C and we have 46% D. So this is very close. Now it's 49% to 46%. 169 votes to 158 votes. C is taking a lead, a 5% lead from 50 to 45. Now it's getting a little bit closer. We got a tie, ladies and gentlemen. No way. We got a C and a D tied at 48% both with 195 votes apiece, bro. So that is unfucking believable, bro. I personally, I'm going to put him at probably C. But when I'm looking at the rest of these flexes, you know, Cammy might actually be D when you're looking at the rest of the flexes. Because right now, when I'm looking at everybody else, I might need to put him in D. I think I'm going to put him in D, guys. This might change. We'll see if it changes a little bit, you know, as we go on. Because we can always move players around. But as of right now, we're going to toss him in D. But let's go over to the next one. We got Mr. Dante. We got Sib. We got the Seattle Surge's very own rookie. He always claims himself as an athlete. It's Mr. Dante. He's a good-looking bastard. I think right now, if I'm thinking about Dante, I'm kind of thinking about how I think of Pred, how we had Pred in the B tier. I'm thinking Dante might be around B right now. I don't think he's as low as C or D. I don't think he's as high as A or S. I think he has the potential to be the A or S, but I think right now he has a lot left in the tank that he needs to show. So right now, I'm going to put Dante in B, but let's go over to the polls and see what you guys think about this, man. We got Dante. Right now, we got 76% saying B, okay, and 14% saying A. The rest of you guys are S, C, and D. I definitely think he's an S-tier talent, but right now, I think he needs to learn a little bit more. He needs to keep playing the game. He's still a rookie. I think he just needs to get invested a little bit more into it, and as time goes on, he'll become a better player, because I think right now, he's a very kill-oriented player, which is fine, especially as a flex. But I think inconsistencies is why I'm not really putting him up too much higher. And just like decision-making, too. I think he still has a lot to learn. But I think for a rookie and as talented he is, I think B is the perfect spot to put him. So we're going to leave him in B. Then we got Donnie Temp, ladies and gentlemen. Most people would probably say that Donnie is the best player on the Paris Legion by far, in my personal opinion. I think Donnie's the best player on Paris. We could probably put him low A, like somewhere around in the A or B. I definitely think that Donnie is definitely going to shine on the main AR role at Paris with his subs not getting kills, or, you know, I definitely think with a kill-oriented mindset, Donnie is really going to shine at Paris. I think right now, I think A is probably a pretty good spot for him, like A or B. What do you guys think, man? Where should we put Donnie? Let's take a look at the polls and see what most of you guys are saying. We have 76% A, so you guys did go with A. When you compare him to everybody else on the list, I feel like A might be a pretty good spot for him. I kind of like A. I'll go, obviously the community has spoken, so we're going to put him in A. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all, chat. Community spoken. Zoomafia has spoken. Donnie's going over to the A side. Definitely think Donnie is definitely, he's been showing out on Paris. He's been that one guy that I feel like is definitely standing out on that roster for sure. So Donnie's going to go A. We're going to put him there. Then we got PaulEhx. What do we do with Paulie, ladies and gentlemen? What do we do with this guy? Because we haven't seen much of him in Vanguard yet. We haven't seen much. He's been playing for New York. He's been looking pretty good. I think he's either going to be probably, you know, somewhere at the bottom of B or like high C here is where I'm thinking. It seems like most of you are saying B. But let's take it over to the polls and see what you guys think, man. For PaulEhx, we got 52% coming in for B. We got 44% coming in for C. It's going very back and forth right now. We got 4% for A. We got a few people voting D. Gotta be the trolls. I would not put PaulEhx in D. I think he's a lot better. He's shown a lot better than D, you know, recently. And again, just trying to look at other people on the list and trying to judge where I think he might be. I think B or C is a good place to put him. But let's see the final verdict. And the final verdict looks like we're going to be putting him in B. 52% coming in for B. 43% coming in from C. It was pretty close. It was about 50-60 votes. I ended up pushing him towards B. I definitely think a low C, high B is kind of where we're going to have Mr. Paulie. So we're going to leave him there now. He hasn't really had much time to showcase his ability in Vanguard yet. He's been showing us a little something. I definitely think he's upgraded that New York Subliners roster. I definitely think New York look a lot better now. Have to bring in Paul in. So B was what the community voted. B is what we're going to go with. So Paulie, you're going to land yourself over in the B tier. Now we got Mr. Dylan attached. I think this one we're going straight to A. I don't think we even need to think about this one. The real question is where in A? Personally, I'm going to put him at the top of A, above Donnie. I personally would have him above Donnie in A. We got Mama Tatch in the chat who wants to see her son in S. But, you know, Mama Tatch, listen, come on. I can't do that. Right now, I think looking at other people on the list, MC's probably going to be my S tier. I think Cell's going to be my S tier. But I do think Attach is at the top of A. I would put him at the top of A. I see a lot of people saying B, which is... I'm surprised a lot of you guys are saying B. I'm surprised that you guys think that Donnie and you guys think that Donnie and Attach. If Donnie's an A, we gotta put Dylan in A, bro. He's B. Wow, really? But Minnesota suck, okay. But like New York Subliners suck, and we had Paco in A tier, and none of you guys said a word. You know, and you know what I'm saying. So regardless of Minnesota being bad, I definitely think Dylan has been Minnesota's best player. You know, but let's take it to the polls. And let's see what the polls say, man. We're going to take it to the polls and see what the community says. We got 42% saying A and 55% saying B. Okay, so we're not even... Okay, so we're just not even thinking the same right now. Okay, so the chat and the community want to put him in B. It looks like we're going to get a final of B. We're at 52% B and 45% A. So interesting. And B continues to rise up respectfully. We're going to have to put him at the top of B then, okay? Can we at least agree that he should go at the top of B? And listen, I see there's certain people in the chat. Zoomaa, this is your list, not the chat's list. No, that's not how I'm doing it. This is not my list. This is my list and the chat's list. We're doing it together, man. So we're doing a community voted list. That's what I was doing. I'm interacting with the chat. That's how we're doing a little twist on it. A lot of people have made lists, man. We do tier lists on the flank. We do tier lists. Enable's been doing these player lists, and everybody's doing playlists. I thought it'd be cool to interact a little bit with the community and see where most of the community wants to put these people, and do like a community tier list, you know, because you know how there's always entertainers like Enable or us on the flank. We're making tier lists, and we're always being judged for our takes. Well, let's see what happens when a community list hits. And let's see how you guys get judged on your guys' takes. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give my opinions. I'll give my takes on where I think people should be. So people who are watching can kind of see where I think people should be. But at the end of the day, this is what you guys have. You guys have Attach at B. Came in. The final was listen, I see a lot of people saying where in B. We're putting him first in B. I see a lot of people. It's 83% right now saying he needs to be first in B. I personally would have had Attach in A. But the community voted. You guys want him B. So we're going to throw Dylan in B. Okay, we're going to put him at the top of B. Looking at the next one, we have... Who is this? We got my man Gismo, ladies and gentlemen. We got my man Gismo. Where do we put Mr. Gismo? He's a weird one for me because he's shown a lot of inconsistencies. He's had signs of, you know, the bar has been high, the bar has been low. He also had a rough period in the middle of where he had to fly back home because he was dealing with some family issues. So he's just been going through it. If you want my honest opinion, I think the best place to put him is probably somewhere at the bottom of B or at the top of C. I'm thinking top of C or bottom of B right now. I think Gizmo's a good player, but he's been very inconsistent from time to time. So I definitely think right now, I think C looks pretty good for Gismo. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. So let's take it to the community chat and let's see what you guys are thinking, man. We got very, very, very split right now, man. We got 6% A. Wow, I'm surprised there's 6% A. We got 45% B and 47% C. It is very half and half right now between B and C. B taking a lead over C at the last second. It is very close, 236 votes to 237. And just like that, C takes the lead at the last second with 5 votes. Holy shit, that was close. It seems like, and guys, you know, the polls are kind of a good way to judge too, because the way you guys are going back and forth on B and C kind of tells me that he's top of C and bottom of B. It kind of tells me that we pretty much have him in a pretty good spot. Let's go to the next one. We got Kenny. Kenny, man, this one is going to be tough, man. I think Kenny is a fantastic player, an amazing player. But let's be honest, he has not been showing out at all. He hasn't been doing his thing. I think right now, like looking at this list, like I'm putting him probably in D, like low C or in D. I think low C or in D is probably the best place to put him. Super inconsistent, been very up and down. Last event, he definitely struggled. I think he knows that. LA Thieves have been going through a lot of just team problems, and we saw that, right? They've been uploading a little bit, and I forgot what they call their series, but LA Thieves was they were showing a little bit behind the scenes, and you can see the frustrations coming from the LA Thieves camp. I definitely think that C or D is probably where we're gonna have them, but let's see what the community says, man. Let's go to the votes or go to the poll. We got 82% saying D, and we have 16% saying C. So it looks like Kenny, you're gonna have to land yourself in the D. But what do we do here, chat? Do we put Cammy or Kenny at the top of D? I think Kenny at the bottom of D is probably where he's gonna be. Let's see. We have 79% in the second spot and 21% in the first spot. So Kenny, the community has voted. You will be in the second spot. Just like that. Boom. The second spot, he's gonna be in the second spot of D. He's gonna be at the bottom of D. And then we go over to Spart. Spart's a weird one, man. This guy's a fucking champion. Isn't that fucking crazy to say? That Spart is a champion. This fucking guy goes from playing challenges. Nobody knows what's going on with this guy. This guy's a substitute. All of a sudden, Big P sick. He can't play. Spart comes in and becomes a champion overnight. Just crazy. At a 96 Lion Man player card, like somebody said in the chat, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I don't give a flying fuck about those playing cards. But yeah, he did have a 96 playing card. He did. He definitely has to be probably at A or B. I feel like B is a pretty good spot for him. I feel like B is probably going to be where we have him. But where in B do we put him? Do we put him at the top of B? Do we put him mid B? I mean, chat, he is a champion. Based off what we've seen so far, I mean, you might have to put him at the top of B. I mean, based off what we've seen, I mean, the only thing we've seen from Spart is championship caliber gameplay, you know? So we're going to have to put him at the top. It wouldn't make any sense to put him at the bottom, in my personal opinion. So I'm personally going to have Spart all the way here at the top. But let's see what you guys think, man. Where in B should we put Spart? We got 57% coming in at that first spot, 30% at the second spot. Yeah, you guys are voting quick. It looks like that number one spot is going to be secured from Spart. So Spart's going to be moved over to our top of B. Then we get into the Florida Mutiny's very own, the franchise player, Mr. Skyz Bueno. Invest in your game, motherfucker. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We got Skyz, chat. Where do we put Caesar? I'm going to be honest with you, man. Caesar's a good player, man. He's, in my opinion, probably one of Florida's best players, if you want my honest opinion. I think right now I'm thinking A for the flex here, but I see people saying C. You know, so I'm like, what the fuck? I think right now, like, to have him, you know, kind of like bottom A, maybe like top of B is kind of a good place to put him. It's also weird. Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty good flex, man. I mean, he does a pretty good job on bow cage with the sub. I think he's been one of the best players on bow cage with a sub and then with an AR. I mean, he's been one of Florida's best players. I could definitely see him landing himself probably in the B tier. Maybe we should put him somewhere in B. Let's see what the polls say. We got 58% A. So a lot of people do want to see him in A, and we got 32% B. So the community voted A as well. I see some people that are very, very aggravated that he's in A. A lot of people are very, very pissed off. I don't mind him in A. I think you guys are, I think maybe recency bias, or maybe you guys are just like thinking of a bad map he had. He's pretty consistent, man. Caesar Skyz, he's a pretty good player, man. He's a pretty good player. I definitely think having him in A is not like too crazy for a flex player. He's a really good player. I think he's been performing pretty well. They just got top 4 at the last event. I like him in A. Then we go over to Mr. iLLeY, the Green Wall's very own Inder. He's got the Dallas Empire shit on over here, but we all know that he's a part of the Green Wall, part of Optic Texas. I'm personally going to put him up in A. I think one thing with iLLeY is like, you know, his inconsistencies, right? But I think that people don't realize what he does for a team, who he is as a player. He's very vocal on his team. He's almost like an IGL for these guys. I think he's a strat caller for these guys. He brings a lot of passion to the team, communication, the whole 9 yards. And then on top of that, when he's performing, he's performing. When he, you know, his ceiling is pretty fucking high, man. And you know, I think this is definitely another one of those players who's extremely unselfish and will do whatever he has to do to get that W. So for me, he's going in the top of A. I think there's some people here that might argue otherwise, but let's see what the poll says. You see attached here, spamming S. He's saying Green Wall, spamming S, but it looks like most of you are saying A. Dylan, I had you in A, and the community voted you into B, Dylan. A, attached, they doing you dirty, Dylan. They doing you dirty, bro. I don't know. I had you in the A. The community put you in B, Dylan. Then we got the one and only Mr. TJ Haley. Where the fuck do we put TJ? Where should we put TJ and flexes here? Maybe a B, a C? Not an A. I'm not going as far as throwing him up in the A. I think maybe a B or a C here is probably where, like maybe top of C, maybe bottom of B. Where should we put Mr. TJ Haley? But let's take a look at the community poll, and it looks like 56% wants to see TJ in that B category. Wow. I thought you guys were going to vote C. I personally probably would have slotted TJ B or C. Probably low B. So we're going to put him in B. Community has voted. How is Caesar A? Well, I think, bro, a lot of people are surprised to see Caesar A. Bro, they just got top 4 at the last event. Caesar has been pretty consistent for Florida. He's been a pretty good player for them. And he fits into that role pretty good. He's been performing pretty well for his role, man. I think the only argument is maybe to put him somewhere in B, like the top of B. But you guys are acting like Caesar can't shoot straight. You guys are acting like Caesar Skyz can't fucking shoot. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind him in A that much. I don't mind him in A that much at all. You know, it's not like he's been like getting pooped on. You know, but TJ's gonna be slotted into B. Where in B should we put TJ? I'm personally thinking low B here. I'm thinking at the bottom of B. I'm looking at everybody else in the list, and I think TJ's a very good player. I think he brings a lot to that Boston team. I think he does a really good job filling in the gaps. But I think talent-wise, like some of these other guys, they're just like kind of just like you know, separating themselves a little bit. But let's see what some of you guys say. Most of you guys want to see him in that 3rd spot. So 47% coming in from the 3rd spot, 17% for the 4th spot, and 24% for the 5th spot. So the community has voted to put him in the middle of the pack of B. So that's where TJ's going to be. TJ's going to be in the middle of the pack of B. That's where we're going to put him. Bada bing, bada boom, TJ. You're landing your spot, mid-pack B. And then we're left with the one and only Mr. MC, aka Cellium. Do we even need to go to the polls for this one? I think we can all agree that MC is the best flex in the game. I think he's a top 3 player in the game. That's my son, so it makes sense. I told him everything he knows. He's going all the way up to the S tier. I think, I definitely think that MC is in a league of his own when it comes to the flex role. The way he's able to play his life, and then on top of that, his awareness and his teamwork and just everything, his shot, everything. He's good at every game mode, doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. And I think the most important thing is just the way he plays his life. I think that's the most important thing. He's just a very difficult kill on the map. And he also plays very ratty, super cruddy, plays a lot of cringe spots. So I'm going to put Cell up in S. We can look at the polls and see what you guys say. We got a lot of people saying 54% S, and the other 38% is can't gun, Chris is hidden. So, of course, Chris is hidden is making the polls. And, yeah, Chris, you would get absolutely mollywopped by MC. You would get pooped on. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It wouldn't even be close, my guy. It wouldn't even be fucking close. But what do you guys think about the overall list, man? What do you guys think of the flexes? So, just to compare our list a little bit to Enable's list, right? Let's compare it a little bit. Let's see some of the differences. So we look at the D tier. Looks like the D tier, we got the same as Enable. We look at the C tier. We got the C tier way off. He has Gismo in the B tier. He has TJ and PaulEhx in C. Meanwhile, we only have Gismo in C. Just like that. We only have Gismo in C. Then in the B tier, he has Mr. iLLeY. He had iLLeY in B tier? Wow. Interesting. Yeah, iLLeY in B tier. Okay. He had iLLeY in the B tier. He had Gismo B tier and Spart B tier. Okay. And then what are we in the B tier? We had Spart, Attach, TJ, Sib, and Paul in the B. In A, he had Donnie, Skyz. So he even had Skyz in his A tier. A lot of you guys were bitching and moaning about the chat, saying L chat when they put Skyz in A tier. But even Enable has Skyz in the A tier. He put Attach in the A tier. I personally would like to see Attach on our list in the A tier, but the community voted, put him in B. He put Dante in A as well. I think when we're looking at talent, I definitely think talent-wise, like Dante is definitely up there. But he is a rookie. Seattle has had a lot of ups and downs. I still think Sib has some inconsistencies at times. Again, I think a lot of these players, especially the young ones like TJ, like Sib and PaulEhx and some of these guys, Spart, Gismo, like I could see these guys shooting up this tier list as the year goes on. But as of right now, this is the tier list we got. So what do you guys think about the list in general? Let's take a look at the polls. We got 39% saying W, 9% saying L, and 52% saying mid. So we got a mid tier list here from the community, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we're going to leave it. This is where the flex list is going to complete for us today. And now we're going to move into our main ARs, man. So shout out to everybody in the chat who's been joining us. Chat, be honest with me, man. Be honest with me, okay? Are you guys having fun doing this? It's super interactive. I feel like it gets the chat involved. I feel like we can all have a good time. And you know, your guys' vote matters. Like what you guys say matters. So, you know, it's fun to kind of invest yourself into the community and to have your guys' opinions on some of this stuff, bro.